Nobody showed up to my graduation. Not a single family face in the sea of cheering crowds. My name rang out Susan Young, Master of Digital Marketing, and I scanned the reserved seats hoping for a late arrival. Empty. I gripped my diploma, flashed a smile for the camera, and ignored the ache in my chest. Around me, classmates hugged parents, snapped selfies with siblings. A friend spotted me and squealed, "You did it." Her family pulled us in for photos, all beams and pride. She glanced around. "Where's yours traffic?" I shrugged it off with a lie. Years of practice made it easy. Back in my car, I scrolled social media. Likes poured in from friends, emojis exploding, but nothing from home. No congrats, no shares. Just silence. 3 days later, the text lit up my phone. Mom's demand. Your sister's dream wedding venue needs 6,300. No mention of my milestone, just the number like I owed it. I stared, the screen blurring. My savings hovered at $4,000, scraped from double shifts, while they poured everything into her. I typed back, fast transferred $6.30 note attached, courthouse is free. Hit send, then blocked them all. The phone went dark, and for a split second it felt like freedom. But that block, it ignited something explosive. Cops showed up next, and what came after shattered everything they built. If you've ever slammed that door on toxic family ties, drop your city in the comments. Let's count how many of us are finally standing tall. By the time I reached the parking lot, the sky was turning orange. Balloons bobbed over car roofs, kids squealed, horns blared in celebration. I slid into my beat-up sedan, the one Dorothy had handed down after wrecking her new one, and watched families pile into vans with hugs and laughter. For a moment, I pictured them striding toward me, Mom waving wildly, Dad with a bouquet clutched in his calloused hands, Dorothy in some flashy outfit she'd bought on a whim. The image faded as engines roared to life around me. Deep down, I shouldn't have expected anything different. They'd skipped my undergrad ceremony too, claiming Dorothy's prom dress fittings ran long. Back then, Mom texted excuses while Dorothy posted selfies in her silver gown, all sparkle and smiles, despite flunking half her classes that semester. From age 17, I'd hustled in a dingy coffee shop apron, tied tight, steaming lattes for rushed commuters before dawn. Every paycheck chunk went home: piano lessons for Dorothy, field trips. She ditched halfway outfits she outgrew in months. Dorothy always got the fresh start, new backpack for school, even after losing the last one, brand name sneakers, though she quit track after 2 practices. Me, I wore her faded hand-me-downs, jeans patched at the knees, shirts stretched from her broader frame. Family shares, Mom would say, but it was never equal. Dorothy failed, gracefully dropped out of community college, but landed a cushy part-time gig through Dad's connections, while I scraped by on scholarships and night shifts to afford my own education. She got praise for trying. I got obligations for succeeding. One time at 15, I begged for art supplies to enter a school contest. Mom shook her head. Dorothy needs braces first. She's the one with the smile people notice. Dorothy's braces came off crooked anyway, but she beamed in photos like a star. I sketched with stubby pencils from her discard pile and won 3rd place, but no one mentioned it at dinner. Instead, they toasted Dorothy's resilience after bombing her driving test twice. Resilience. She got the car anyway while I bussed to work. Those years taught me love wasn't free. It was a ledger where I always owed more. When grad school acceptance came, I told myself this degree would flip the script. Master of Digital Marketing, something practical, something they'd respect. No more being the backup wallet, the quiet supporter fading into Dorothy's shadow. If I achieved big, maybe they'd see me as equal, not the sturdy one who fixed their messes. But as I sat there in the lot, diploma warm on my lap, doubt crept in. Had I really earned their attention, or was I still just the giver? Little did I know that degree would expose their biggest betrayal yet. 3 days after the ceremony, with my cap still on the hook, the text popped up. Mom's words hit hard. Need 6,300 for Dorothy's dream wedding venue. Dorothy deserves her dream day. You've always been the strong one. The manipulation stung, framing me as the reliable crutch while elevating her sister's whims. No acknowledgement of my achievement, just this presumption that I'd foot the bill again. I pulled up my banking app, staring at the $4,000 balance hard-won from freelance gigs and skipped vacations. My thumb paused over the transfer field, a flicker of doubt creeping in. Should I just pay to dodge the drama to maintain that fragile facade of unity? The old habit tugged, but resentment overpowered it. I wasn't their endless resource anymore. I entered $6.30, added the biting note, "Courthouse is free," and confirmed the send. The app chimed approval, a small rebellion that sent adrenaline rushing through me. Without pause, I navigated to contacts and blocked Mom's number, then Dad's for good measure. The screen cleared, notifications silenced at last. No more guilt-laced pleas infiltrating my peace, no further erosion of my boundaries. I rummaged in the entryway drawer for the emergency key Mom had demanded years ago, its metal cold against my palm, and dropped it straight into the trash can with a satisfying thud. I searched online for a local locksmith voice firm as I booked the service. He arrived promptly, an efficient technician with grease-stained hands and a no-nonsense demeanor. He inspected the door, nodded approvingly, and set to work removing the outdated hardware. Tools whirred as he fitted the new lock, testing the mechanism twice before declaring it secure. "You're all good now," he remarked, packing up. I turned the key myself, the bolt sliding home with authority. In my Rio Rancho apartment, the air felt charged, the new setup a tangible shield against intrusions. This step unlocked buried frustrations. I'd always been the one tapped for contributions, wiring funds for Dorothy's fleeting pursuits, while receiving scraps in return. She'd bail on a certification course midway, yet they'd subsidize her recovery spa weekend. I'd land a promotion through sheer grit, and they'd solicit extra for her wardrobe refresh. "We stick together?" They'd insist, but togetherness meant my sacrifices fueling Dorothy's indulgences. Even this wedding demand echoed the pattern her extravagant plans prioritized over my stability. Enough. The locksmith invoice joined my important papers, a symbol of reclaiming control. As dusk settled, I paced the living room, the quiet amplifying my resolve. The phone remained dormant, but I knew their silence wouldn't last. The pushback was inevitable. Little did I know that police visit was just the beginning of their panic. The next morning, sunlight flooded my Rio Rancho apartment. I brewed fresh coffee, the aroma filling the space as I reviewed job listings on my laptop. A sharp knock interrupted the calm routine. Peering through the peephole, I spotted two uniformed officers standing in the hallway. My pulse quickened. What now? I opened the door cautiously, greeting them with a steady voice. "Can I help you?" The taller officer, badge glinting under the hall light, introduced himself. "Albuquerque Police, ma'am. We're here on a welfare check. Your mother called concerned about erratic behavior, changing locks, suddenly ignoring calls. She fears you might be in distress." The absurdity hit me like a slap, twisting into something darker. Mom's retaliation for my stand, weaponizing concern to pry back in. I swallowed the rising anger and stepped aside. "Come in, see for yourselves." They entered, scanning the tidy living room, coffee mug steaming on the table, diploma freshly framed on the wall, laptop displaying a cover letter draft. No clutter, no signs of chaos. The shorter officer nodded approvingly while his partner asked routine questions. "Any recent stressors at work or with family?" I answered honestly, keeping composure. "Just wrapped up my master's in digital marketing, applying for positions. Family-wise, I'm setting some healthy boundaries after years of one-sided demands." He jotted notes, expression neutral but attentive. "Medical issues, medications?" "None," I confirmed. As they wrapped up, the taller one pocketed his notepad. "Everything checks out here, no red flags." Then he added, voice lowering slightly, We've seen this pattern before with controlling parents. They push back when boundaries go up. His words landed like validation, easing the knot in my stomach. Someone outside the family dynamic recognized the manipulation for what it was. They prepared to leave, handing me a card with the report number. Reference this if she calls again. Take care. I closed the door behind them, leaning against it as the lock clicked shut, the very one I'd just reinforced. Fury simmered beneath the relief. I trusted. Mom hadn't just overstepped. She'd escalated to involving authorities, painting me as unstable to regain leverage. It confirmed every doubt I'd harbored, turning my quiet rebellion into a necessary fortress. I sat back at the table, coffee now lukewarm, and replayed the encounter. Their professional demeanor contrasted sharply with the chaos they'd been summoned to probe. No drama unfolded, just facts laid bare in my orderly space. It fueled a quiet determination. I'd protected my haven, and their intrusion only strengthened it. But the episode lingered, a warning that peace came with pushback. His words lingered, but the real storm was brewing in my credit report. That evening, with the police report in my inbox, I opened my laptop. Routine job searches waited, but unease pulled me toward the banking app instead. 2 unfamiliar credit inquiries blinked on the notifications: Capital One and Discover, both dated recently. My stomach dropped as I clicked into the full report. Accounts opened in my name linked to an address in Los Alamos suburb, not my Rio Rancho spot. Balances already climbing past $9,000. Transactions itemized clearly: deposits to a downtown Santa Fe venue, DJ services, and a high-end bridal gown boutique. Dorothy's wedding extravagance funded through my identity without consent. Dad's involvement stared back: David Anderson listed as co-applicant, his signature digitized on the form's phone number matching the family landline. Shock morphed into clarity. This wasn't impulse but calculated theft to bankroll her event. I dialed the fraud hotline immediately, voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. The representative verified details, confirmed the in-person opening at their Los Alamos branch. "We'll flag these for investigation right away," she assured. "Forms incoming within hours." Hanging up, I enabled voice recording on my phone, New Mexico's one-party consent law covering the call. I punched in Dad's number, heart pounding as it rang thrice. He answered briskly. Finally, picking up, I cut straight. "Dad, 2 cards opened under my name tied to your address. Charges for Dorothy's venue DJ, even her dress, total $9,000. Explain." Silence stretched. Then his chuckle, forced and hollow. "Building your credit history, kiddo. Family pitches in for big moments like Dorothy's wedding. It'll make us all look established." The excuse twisted like a knife. "You forged my info to cover her excesses. That's fraud, not help." He pressed on. "Come on. Dorothy's day will reflect on everyone. Strong family image matters in our circle." "No," I stated flatly. "What's mine stays mine. Bank's already investigating." The line went dead quiet before he muttered, "You wouldn't." "Already did." I ended the call, saved the file labeled evidence, date stamped. Proof solidified in digital form, undeniable. The apartment felt smaller, walls closing with the weight of betrayal, yet a spark ignited control, shifting my way for once. Transaction screamed priority: venue booking, first gown, second extras piling on. Dad's rationale exposed the core rot: they viewed my stability as communal property, Dorothy's whims as non-negotiable. Reporting locked the accounts, halting further damage. Email confirmation pinged, frozen pending review. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. This discovery armored me against their narrative. Hanging up felt powerful, but facing them in person would test it. 2 days later, I chose a neutral spot in Corrales. The quaint cafe offered cracked vinyl seats and bottomless coffee pots, public enough to temper tempers, quiet for raw truths. I nursed a mug folder of evidence laid out like a battle plan, nerves coiled tight. They arrived fashionably delayed, Mom striding in with her signature floral top shielding vulnerability. Dad lagging with weary steps, Dorothy absorbed in her device, and James hovering as her betrothed. No warm exchanges. Mom claimed the opposite bench, demanding, "What's this meeting about anyway?" I slid the folder across without prelude. Fraudulent cards in my name, your Los Alamos address attached, $9,000 charged for Dorothy's venue fees, entertainment hires, and couture dress. Mom's composure cracked slightly, but she dismissed it airily. "Sweetie, we aim to strengthen your financial standing," Dad echoed faintly. "Family supports family. Dorothy's celebration bonds us tighter." Dorothy glanced up sharply. "Exactly, and Mom assured me you'd contribute willingly." Flipping open to key pages, I exposed the damning details: forged applications, transaction logs, time-stamped to her planning spree. "This crosses into criminal territory. You impersonated me for her luxuries." James interjected hesitantly. "Come on, it's merely pooling resources for the occasion." Yet, as I highlighted Dad's co-signer status and the mounting totals, he withdrew into silence, eyes darting away uncomfortably. Dorothy pressed on defensively. "Stop dramatizing. We've all made concessions for special events like mine." My response cut through. "Concessions? You mean like funneling my efforts into Dorothy's endless do-overs while I scraped by?" Mom's tone iced over. "Always so resentful. Remember who nurtured your path?" A bitter chuckle escaped, echoing in the cafe and drawing curious glances. "I nurtured it. Loans shouldered alone, shifts doubled while you diverted funds to Dorothy's aborted projects." James shifted restlessly, reassessing Dorothy beside him. Thrusting the documents nearer, I pressed. "Institutions hold your prince contacts' location data. Balances halted. Proactive. You'll face inquiries imminently." Mom paled visibly, Dad stammering. "We can resolve this discreetly, dear." Dorothy exhaled sharply. "You're sabotaging my vision, our reputation." James remained wordless, strain evident on his face. Rising, I dropped bills for my brew. "No resolutions left. Your dominance, my yielding over." Stepping into the fresh breeze, conviction surged stronger. Walking out, I knew the wedding night would be their undoing. That night, the venue in downtown Santa Fe glowed in white lights. My phone vibrated with an incoming call from an unknown number. I answered cautiously, the bank's fraud specialist on the line. "We've accelerated your case," she explained crisply. "Team coordinating with local enforcement to authenticate charges at the event site. No action required from you, but stay informed." I thanked her, pocketed the device, and leaned against my window. City hum below. Across town, the banquet hall pulsed with anticipation, guests mingling under crystal chandeliers, floral arches framing the dance floor, a towering cake centerpiece proclaiming Dorothy's union. Officers arrived discreetly, no blaring sirens to disrupt the facade, banker trailing with a briefcase of records. They navigated the entry badges, flashed subtly to the coordinator. Inside, the DJ spun upbeat tracks, couples swaying as waitstaff circulated trays. The lead officer approached the head table where Margaret chatted with relatives, David nursing a drink nearby. "Evening, folks," he announced evenly. "Here to verify reported credit irregularities tied to this gathering's expenses." Murmurs rippled outward, phones emerging from pockets. The banker unfolded documents, voice projecting. "Accounts under Susan Young, unauthorized co-applicant David Anderson. Itemizations match venue, deposit, entertainment contract, bridal attire. Acquisition total, 9,000. Gasps echoed, a nearby aunt whispering, "Susan's involved." Margaret's glass trembled, color fleeing her cheeks as she stammered. "Misunderstanding, family matters." Dorothy froze mid-conversation, with bridesmaid's veil slipping slightly. "What's happening?" she demanded, eyes darting to James beside her. Crowd attention shifted, conversations halting as the officer continued. "Routine documentation, no detentions tonight, but we'll copy receipts and confirm identities." A friend of Dorothy's stationed near the bar whipped out her device and started recording discreetly, lens capturing the unfolding scene. Whispers intensified. Fraud. On her wedding. James edged away from the table, murmuring to Dorothy, I can't marry into this mess. He slipped toward the exit coat, grabbed hastily, vanishing through a side door amid the growing disarray. The DJ, sensing tension, faded the music, unplugging speakers as the vibes soured. Guests exchanged uneasy glances, some drifting toward coats, others lingering for the spectacle. Margaret pleaded with the banker. Please, not here, it's her special night. But protocols held firm, forms signed under duress. Dorothy collapsed into a chair, tears streaking makeup. Mom, fix this. The banner overhead, embroidered with their names, sagged under the humid weight of embarrassment. As enforcement wrapped up, the hall emptied in waves, pitying nods, hushed judgments trailing out. Video clips circulated instantly among attendees, snippets destined for wider spread. As the lights dimmed, the fallout was just beginning. 3 days after the chaos, the email arrived. Capital One's fraud resolution notice detailed the outcome. David and Margaret Anderson admitted to the unauthorized activities, committing to full restitution of $9,000. The statement included a timeline of reversed entries, clearing my financial slate completely. Relief washed over me, tempered by the stark reality of their concession. It marked not just monetary amends, but a forced reckoning with their overreach. Whispers escalated quickly through Los Alamos suburb circles. Market aisles filled with sidelong glances and murmured retellings of the disrupted nuptials, church groups dissecting the scandal over coffee hours. Heard the Andersons' big bash imploded amid money troubles. A neighborhood newsletter alluded, sparking threaded discussions on local apps. Dad faced tangible repercussions in his professional sphere. Colleagues distanced themselves during meetings, opting out of joint initiatives after ethics concerns surfaced informally among supervisors. While no formal reprimand issued, the subtle exclusion disrupted his workflow, compelling him to navigate strained interactions daily. Dorothy's attempts to reach me intensified, bypassing blocks through alternate emails and mutual contacts. Your spite wrecked my life. One message ranted. Another pleaded desperately. James ditched me because of the humiliation. How could you? I deleted each, without response, reinforcing the severance. Her online presence dwindled behind fortified privacy walls after the footage amassed 500,000 views, clips dissecting the enforcement intervention and her distraught reaction. The termination of her engagement with James unfolded publicly, his abrupt departure signaling the collapse of her envisioned future amid the fallout. I initiated comprehensive credit safeguards via Equifax and TransUnion, sealing off vulnerabilities to prevent repeats. Every linked profile they had tampered with got shuttered, replaced by secure alternatives under my exclusive management. The affirmation letters arrived promptly, which I affixed alongside my diploma, and the locksmith-bill trio of testaments to self-preservation, earned through confrontation. 6 months hence, crisp autumn winds swept Albuquerque streets with golden foliage. I'd secured employment at Nova Insights, a vibrant digital marketing firm where colleagues valued my input absent any strings. Mornings kicked off with brainstorming huddles, crafting campaigns. Afternoons delved into analytics, yielding measurable impacts. My workspace wall showcased the diploma employee badge, and that replaced lock symbols of rebirth from foundational upheaval. The role brought stability, allowing focus on personal growth without the drain of familial entanglements. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival in a toxic family.